There is no question that the spiritual journey can be daunting. And in this video, I want to share 5 ways to stay on course with your spiritual journey and also to inspire hope no matter what is going on around you and no matter maybe who you're with and their beliefs. So stick around for a few moments with me, and I'm ready to share with you 5 ways to stay on course and inspire you to have more hope in your spiritual journey. What if you didn't have to navigate uncertain times alone? What if you had a steady place to land, a place where your intuition is strengthened, not dismissed, where your spiritual questions are welcomed, and where growth feels grounded instead of overwhelming? Welcome to Reawaken. Reawaken is a monthly membership for people who know there's more awareness, more clarity, more connection, and who are ready to access it in a practical way. Inside, you'll receive monthly life regroupings to realign and refocus, ongoing tools to strengthen discernment, intuition, and emotional awareness. This isn't about escaping the world. It's about becoming steady within it. It's about learning to trust your inner compass. It's about moving from reaction to awareness, and it's about remembering who you are and walking forward with clarity. If you're ready to feel supported, aligned, and spiritually grounded, Reawaken is here. Join us and reawaken the part of you that already knows. So number 1 might be an interesting one. It might be something you've not heard before, but lead without hooks. Yes, lead without hooks. And the underlying to that statement is, what do I get out of this? So whatever we do, there's oftentimes I want to make $1 million out of this. I want to have more connections out of this. And leading with hooks that maybe don't inspire from your heart. So for myself, I found throughout the years that the times I've led with hooks, I have not been as successful, especially around making money. And that's a big thing for all of us, right? We have to all live in this world and in this dimension, and money at the moment is something that helps us have our life. So when let's say this podcast, right? I've been doing it for this June will be 6 years, and I haven't made any money off it. But when I first started, I thought, oh, I'm going to create a podcast. Now, it was really spirit-led when I first started, but as I go along, I'd actually like to make some money off this podcast because I'm putting a lot of money out for it throughout the years. But I've found for myself that hook has kind of honestly disabled myself in recognizing, what am I really getting out of this podcast? Why have I done it so long? And the implications of all the money I've spent and all the hours I've spent. And I recognize when I put that aside, my hook of I want to make money, I want to, be famous, whatever. Then I recognized the growth that I've had from doing this podcast. And I look back at the first year or 2 or 3 and recognize, oh my gosh, I didn't know what I was doing, but I just did it. And now where I'm at, I'm still not monetizing it at all, but I've gained so much inner wisdom. I've gained so much inner strength from showing up every week for almost 6 years and moving through the process and learning how to work with the editors and working with, where the SEO stuff is at now and how to make the thumbnails more attractive and all the different things of moving into the day-to-day changes on the planet has really helped me. So back to number 1, lead without hooks. Anytime you can do something and not have a hook to a person or an outcome, that is a really great way to keep on course with your spiritual journey. Number 2, don't take anything personally around the actions of others. So this has been a toughie for me throughout my spiritual journey, because when I was just starting and I went to massage therapy school at 38, which, oh my God, it's been 20 years. That's crazy. I did take it personally how others around me, especially in the family, didn't understand what I was doing or looked at, maybe said things or looked at me differently. And I took it personally. And this can be something, and it was for myself, something that, I wasn't taking, I wasn't able then to really embrace who I am and what my authenticity is and what I want to bring forth because I was holding back. That's the key, holding back. So when I took it personally, I held back how I really wanted to show up. And honestly, it wasn't until I left the previous family, the situation, that I was able to really step into, this is how I want, this is how I'm going to show up in the world, this is how I'm going to, the things I'm going to do. And so not taking it personally, especially on the actions of others, is so big. And this is so challenging, especially around the people we love or the people we grew up with, because we want to, oftentimes I'll say it, I want to make people happy, and I want to, not disappoint people, or also not, trigger or stimulate their concepts and beliefs. Ooh, that's a biggie. So when I let go of stimulating the concepts and beliefs that others have and not taking it personally, what they're going through, I've been able to stay on course with my spiritual journey. So that's number 2. Don't take it personally. Number 3, don't allow the actions of others to persuade you to stop doing what you've come to do. And I've heard this from many people. Oh, Teresa, gosh, I could not have done what you've done. I would have never had the strength. And I just look at people and I'm like, my God, everyone's on their own journey, right? But if people and you out there, listeners, recognize how much inner strength you have and what you put together for yourself, not only this lifetime, but many other lifetimes, to be right here, right now, taking the action to do what you've come to do. Now, it may not look exactly how you maybe want it to look, but it doesn't have to. Like, there's everything you're doing is to benefit your personal journey and your spiritual part. So not allowing the actions of others to persuade you to stop is really big, or even to persuade you to not keep going. So this has been really big for myself, because sometimes I found that I maybe don't consider the outcomes of others around me when I do things, but I've always looked back and said, this is what I have needed to do. So I think that's a key too, is what are you here? What's the next step for you to do to stay on course with what you've come to do and not be persuaded by anybody else? So good luck with that one. That's a biggie. Number 4 is staying consistent, building the blocks for what's coming next. So for myself, especially with this podcast, almost 6 years in June of 2026, I have been so consistent showing up each week. For the first, I don't know how many months it was just me doing it and just, learning along the way. But I've been consistent for years and years and years. And especially around a podcast, because most podcasts only, I don't know what the actual number is of how long they last, but most don't last too long. So staying consistent, and sometimes, again, it may not look exactly how you want it to look, but knowing that the step I'm doing right now is building the next step that's coming is really a key. And, I look at, all that I've been through in this lifetime, and no matter what I've gone through or who I've been with or what's been going on around me, I've always stayed very consistent all the way to the end of things. So that's one thing that I feel is such a big part of our success of staying on course to your spiritual journey, is because that consistency, when I'm consistent, my spiritual team can move in, they can back me, because they know that in my heart, I am moving towards what I've come to do, or the next step of what I've come to do, and thus leads towards the success, which, honestly, whatever happens the rest of my life and all the things that I've been through until this moment, I feel like I've been successful. It may not, if I look back at things and I realize, oh gosh, I could have done things differently, or maybe it could have looked this way. Well, sure, right? Like we have choices. We have moments where things aren't going to look exactly how maybe I perceive it to look, but everything has been happened. Everything has happened and has been in the right timing and the right place for me to learn my next lesson and to keep moving with consistency. And then number 5, this one's a biggie. This one has been very challenging and it can be very challenging for a lot of people, is surrendering to not knowing. Wow. Surrendering to not knowing. So that surrender word, I don't know about you, but it hits me right in my heart, because this has been, honestly, I'll just say the cliche word, game changer for myself. Because if I look back and if I said, I believe in 2026, I'm going to be remarried. I will be living in the Midwest, living in a state I've never even been to and barely knew existed, I would have been like, what? You're crazy. No way. So surrendering and moving through the journey and not knowing really how things are going to turn out, how the next person is going to show up, how the next off ramp will be the perfect way I need to go, is really a powerful, powerful key. So even though it's number 5, it could have even been number 1, but it wasn't. Number 5, surrender to not knowing. And again, this is very challenging, especially for those of us who, we're working, we're out in the world, we're, doing what we need to do to make ends meet for living life in this realm. But not knowing what's coming next, I don't know, for myself, it's exciting. It's because I have this feeling, and I think it's something maybe in like all of our DNA, knowing that, there's something coming, there's something more, there's something I'm here to do, can really inspire just letting go to what it's going to look like. And it's interesting too, because I've never been one, I'll be honest with you, I've never been one to set goals. Yeah, I've done, like charts, and what is it called when you make all the pictures? When you manifest things on a board, the poster boards. I can't even think of the name of it right now, but I've done all that. I did it for years, and made pictures, and in some of on my boards things would come true, manifesting boards or whatever you call them. But not knowing exactly how it's going to look has really allowed some things to open up that I never even expected. Another thing about surrendering too is, for myself, like when I've regrouped where I'm at, and regrouping is just a time frame of just kind of, rehashing, looking at kind of, going inwards and seeing like where I'm at and how have I gotten to where I'm at. That's what I call regrouping. It is a way to really understand how the times I've surrendered, everything has moved perfectly to where I'm at right now. And there's been nothing wrong. So nothing wrong or no wrong choices. It's just been all a means to the end, right? Like, how do I get there? Okay, well, I follow this way, and then this comes upon, or a new job or a new this, and I just move with it. And, the surrendering, like I said, starting with this number 5, it's challenging for a lot of people, and I get it. And there's something in me, innate within me, that I just accept and move. And I know in my whole being, it's a feeling that it's time to move. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to move on. And I usually don't hesitate. Matter of fact, I was talking to my boss recently, and, she knows that I'm like this. And we were talking about this exact, predicament that I just moved. Like, I know. And I said to her, when I'm complete with the current job I'm in, I promise you, I will give you enough time to find someone to replace me, because usually I move pretty quick and things happen very fast. And when I'm, surrendering and allowing the universe to meet me so I can move to the next place. So those are the top 5 ways that I came up with to help you stay on course with your spiritual journey. And they are, again, number 1, lead without hooks. Number 2, don't take everything personally, the actions of others. Number 3, don't allow the actions of others to persuade you to stop doing what you want to do and what you're here to do. Number 4, staying consistent day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Build those blocks, those foundations. And number 5, surrendering to not knowing what is coming next. Because oftentimes it can be the most incredible thing that Spirit has put together for you that you have no idea what it looks like yet. So I hope that this episode has inspired the word hope. No matter where you are, no matter what's going on around you, I hope that it inspires you to keep going because, well, there's really no other way to do it. But this is just really an awareness of working with the spiritual part of your journey and sticking with it so that way you can stay on your course. So cheers to that. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Enthusiastically Spiritual. I appreciate you everywhere you're at in the world. I wish you well on staying course on your journey and relaxing into everything you're doing and enjoying it. So until next week, just remember that life is too short to not be enthusiastic about your unique journey. To keep the enthusiasm going, please like, subscribe, or comment below. We would love to hear from you.